do just want to say before we get into the video as well that I do apologise for the mic quality not being great. I actually broke my mic right before recording this video, and I have ordered another one online, but it's not going to be here for 2.5 weeks. So I've decided to go ahead with this video anyway, and when the new mic turns up, I'll decide whether I'm going to redo it with the new audio or just continue on with other games. So the year is 2006, and there are some absolute bangers releasing on the PlayStation 2 at this time. I mean, we're getting games like Bully, Final Fantasy, Metal Gear Solid 3, Guitar Hero, just constant hits back to back. And when it came to first-person shooters, we weren't deprived either. We had early Medal of Honor games, we had Call of Duty 2, and even the earlier Battlefield titles. But out of all these games, there's actually one that is pretty underrated, pretty hidden. I'd consider it a hidden gem. And I think it could rival a lot of modern FPS games now if it was to be revived in 2026. So come with me as we take a look into Black, the PS2's best first-person shooter. Now, before we begin, don't forget to smash that subscribe button. It helps me out and it helps me bring you guys content like this, which I'm definitely keen to do more of. And I've got a lot of games in the pipeline that I want to make videos on. So if you guys like this kind of content, please hit that like button as well. And let's get into the video. So what is Black? Developed by Criterion and published by EA, and yes, that Criterion, the same ones that would go on to develop the Burnout and Need for Speed franchise. So most of you now will be sitting there thinking, okay, so what? The game's 20 years old. Why are we still talking about a PS2 FPS game in 2026? Well, there's a reason people remember this game, and I'm going to go into them. So first up, the presentation and destruction. So this game looks amazing for its time. I just want to say that. I'm playing it on PCSX2, which you can upscale the graphics and you can integrate anti-aliasing and things like that. So the game's naturally going to look better anyway. But the game honestly feels like you're playing an interactive Michael Bay movie at some points. The explosions are ridiculous. The destruction's pretty over the top. I wouldn't be surprised if this is one of the first games to introduce what Battlefield went on to call Levolution. You can destroy fuel silos and it will actually blow half the buildings apart. You can shoot windows out and the window will break where you fire. You can shoot even the railing off stairs, you can shoot off and it will break in the points you shoot. It won't just destroy the whole thing. It'll actually break in individual sections, which is groundbreaking for the time this game was released. This is on a console that has like a quarter of the processing power of some of like the lower end smartphones of today's day and age. Like, I mean, I genuinely look back at some of these moments now playing it on my PC and I wonder how the PS2 didn't explode. Like, honestly, the game has some intricate levels of detail when it comes to destruction. And it wasn't just visual either. The destruction actually played a role in combat because there could be enemies in the building and you can't get to them. You can either go over and like shoot the door down or kick the door down, or you could just blow the building up. Another reason I think this game did so well and is so highly regarded in today's day and age is the gunplay and the weapons. I mean, the firearms are beautifully modelled. They sound phenomenal, even by today's standards. In fact, I've been reading a couple of forums about this, and some critics have even called this gun porn. And honestly, I don't think they're wrong. I think whoever made this game, whoever was leading the development team, I genuinely think they had some obsession with firearms. Not in a bad way, I don't think that's a bad thing. But I think they genuinely had some obsession with firearms. Like, the attention to detail that has gone into these is just unprecedented for the time. And this is for multiple weapons too, not just one or two. Over the course of the campaign, you'll unlock the AK-47, the MP5, the M16, Uzi, a couple of variations of shotguns, a couple of sniper rifles, a couple of LMGs as well. There's just so much attention to detail that have gone into these weapons and that. You could tell it was definitely centered around that. I feel like they've got a model of a firearm that's beautifully modeled, sounds amazing, and they've built the game around the gunplay, if that makes sense. They haven't built a game that they want to make good by, you know, telling a good story or whatever. They've built a game around the gunplay, which is a good thing. Like, the gunplay in this would hold up even today. Now, I want to dive into the campaign a little bit because it's not groundbreaking, but it does have some key points that make it stand out. So first up, this is a hard game. And on higher difficulties, you're going to die a lot. I do recommend to anyone that goes to play through this game in the future to play it on Black Ops difficulty, which is the hardest, but this is a hard game. and you are going to die a lot. Enemies are aggressive and accurate, and they're not afraid to piss in your breakfast. And genuinely, that's a good thing. The game is the right amount of difficult. It's not stupidly difficult to the point where it's impossible, but it's also not easy, and it's not just at the point where you can cruise through it with no trouble. And honestly, that's a good thing. I genuinely recommend playing this on the hardest difficulty, because thankfully for a PS2 game, there is a checkpoint system that is generous enough that when you inevitably get clapped by a shotgunner in body armor or an RPG hiding up on the roof, or that one enemy you somehow didn't see, you're not sent 30 minutes back to the start of the mission, dragging your nads across broken glass just to die again. Unless, of course, you've already raged at it and the console's been thrown out the window. Now, level design. So the game's made up of about 8 missions in total, ranging from about 25 to 50 minutes per level to complete, with the final mission clocking in just over an hour and 15 minutes. And the level design here for a PS2 game, again, is pretty solid. I mean, you're going to be going through farms, docks, a mission set on a bridge, kind of resembling that mission from Homefront, but it came out first, so Homefront would technically be using that as inspiration. The levels are fairly linear as well, but just enough openness to hide secrets and collectibles. There's optional objectives. There's also reward exploration. You can find secret weapons around the map that'll help you turn the tide of the battle. You can also do things like eliminating certain enemies, which can add to completion. If you're not a completionist and you're just going to finish the campaign to say you've played it, you're probably looking at about 4 hours of gameplay from my personal experience. If you're going for a full completion, I'd be looking closer from 5.5 to 6. I completed the whole game in under 4 hours, but just the campaign alone amounted to 25% game completion. So there is a lot to do here. There is a lot of side stuff, which, yeah, on a PS2 game, it doesn't really matter too much, but the fact that that side stuff's in there for completionists to go and do, it is a nice refresher. And I think what sets this game apart the most as well is it knows what it wants to be, and it doesn't waste your time with filler systems or unnecessary mechanics. It's a shooter at heart, and that's what it gives you. Also, the visual effects. I mean, the smoke, the destruction, the fire, the muzzle flash coming out the end of the rifle each time you fire. It's all just done so well. Honestly, it's like watching an interactive Michael Bay movie, and the destruction is honestly insane for PS2 hardware. And I look back at this and wonder how it could even handle this. And I guess it goes to show that optimization really is a lost art these days. Now, the game is amazing, and it has a lot of points. It has a lot of good points about it. But there is also some downsides. So enemy variety is actually pretty limited, and towards the later missions, you're kind of just shooting the same fodder enemies over and over and over again. The story's pretty forgettable. I mean, the characters outside of Jack Keller barely exist. You don't really interact with your squad mates at all, to be honest with you. And if you're used to more modern FPS, Black can feel a little bit stiff and slow at first, but once you get used to it and you sort of learn the game's mechanics, it works in the game's favour, and you can see that the game was actually built around the gunplay, as I said before. So, for the question, does the game still hold up today? Absolutely. In a world full of live service, battle pass, and bloated shooters, man, Black is a reminder of when games were allowed to be focused, tight, and unapologetically fun. You didn't have to worry about offending people. You didn't have to worry about someone suing you because your game hurt their feelings. It really is just a relic from simpler times. It pushed the PS2 to its absolute limit as well, and somehow came out the other side, swinging. If you've never played it, or you haven't played it since 2006, this is one classic that's well worth revisiting. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed this, hit that subscribe button, because I'll be doing a few more of these kind of videos on games I played as a child. Stay safe, and I'll see you in the next video.